turn to you for opening comments about your piece of legislation.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing today and providing me the opportunity to testify in support of H.R. 4458, the Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake Security Enhancement Act. This bill is similar to legislation that I introduced last year, which was amended into the 2014 National Defense Authorization Act to renew China Lake's withdrawal for only 25 years. This bill would permanently withdraw the 1.1 million acres of BLM land that China Lake sits on to secure the Navy's premier research, development, acquisition, test, and evaluation installation at China Lake. It would also withdraw approximately 26,000 acres of additional federal land for the base. This includes the Cuddyback Gunnery Range, a retired Air Force bombing range, as well as limited surrounding BLM land. The goal of this bill is simply to match China Lake's fence line with its military restricted airspace as much as possible. The last major range expansion at China Lake was over half a decade ago in the 1950s, and since then, its mission has grown. Adding Cuddyback and surrounding BLM land to the China Lake are essential to meeting the base test and evaluation requirements and supporting current and emerging naval missions, including unmanned systems, miniature munitions, irregular warfare, and integrated warfighting capabilities. China Lake also needs to separate its manned from its unmanned platforms to avoid scheduling conflicts and safety concerns within its current airspace. It should be noted that withdrawing Cuddyback and the surrounding BLM land will not diminish environmental protections to the desert tortoise or other species in the area. In fact, in 2010, Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Gary Roughead, commended China Lake on its environmental stewardliness by awarding it the CNO Environmental Award for 2010, making China Lake a model for all other naval installations. I'd like to note that less than 5% of existing land China Lake currently manages is disturbed. And if H.R. 4458 is enacted into law for the newly acquired land, China Lake advises me it would review and make the appropriate updates to the following documents: the Integrated Cultural Resources Management Plan, which already provides protection for Native American and other culturally significant sites on the base; the Integrated National Resources Management Plan, which already provides protection for the desert tortoise and other species on the base; and the Comprehensive Land Use Management Plan, which governs all land use at China Lake, following public input and consultation with the Fish and Wildlife Service on protecting endangered or threatened species in the area. Finally, my bill does not waive Section 7A of the Endangered Species Act that requires all federal agencies, the Navy included, to avoid adverse modification to critical habitat. Because these protections remain in place, combined with the fact that China Lake does not plan to use munitions or dud-producing ordnance work in the newly acquired lands, it is reasonable to believe that rather the desert tortoise could be better protected, allowing it to recover more quickly. I have no doubt China Lake will manage its existing and newly acquired land under this bill consistent with its proven record of environmental stewardship. The men and women who work at China Lake have demonstrated that they can meet critical military requirements to ensure our warfighters can complete their mission and return home safely while protecting the environment. Mr. Chairman, thank you for allowing me to testify today. I urge support for my bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.